Hello and welcome to my GIMP tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to replace faces in photos. And in this tutorial I will replace the face of Einstein with my own face, which looks like this. And as you can see, I try to look as smart as I can without wearing glasses, and the end result will look like this. Pretty cool, if you ask me. And let's get started. There are several steps that we must do, and the first is to copy my face and put it into the Einstein image. So we select the rectangle tool just to roughly extract the face, and we go to edit and copy, and then edit and paste. We don't need this image anymore, so we close it, don't save it. Alright, this is the base of the tutorial basically, and the first thing we want to do is to convert this. You can see that I have the layers dialog here, Ctrl-L, and it has a floating selection. To convert this floating selection, which we just pasted into the image, we click the new layer button. We do that, and that creates a normal new layer. I can take the move tool here just to demonstrate. If I rearrange the order of the layers, these images become they place each other on top and under each other. It's just basic the layer functionality that is the same in all image editors. So let's undo this. And the first thing we do is to adjust the size and orientation of my face. And now it happens to be so that the size and orientation is as good as perfect. If it wasn't, I would have used the rotate tool and the scale tool to simply as you can see, you have to make sure that the right layer is selected. So I click on this layer, and then I can rotate and scale. And the scaling is free unless you constrain it with Control. Hold Control, and this becomes a constrained scaling. But now I don't want to scale, so I don't click scale, I click cancel here. Once you have scaled it and rotated it to match the face you want to replace, you must align it with the face that you want to replace. We take the move tool and we place it roughly on the right place. To see that it's correctly placed, we make sure that this layer is selected by clicking on it, and we lower the opacity of this layer so that it becomes transparent. And we also zoom in by using the plus key. The plus and the minus key zooms in and out. Going to zoom in to 200%. And the middle mouse button is used to pan. I click it and I drag the mouse to perform panning. It's very useful to navigate in the window. If you use GIMP 2.3, you can hold down the space key. I now hold down the space key and I move the cursor. In GIMP 2.2, if you hold down the space key, you will in fact move the actual layers and not just pan it. But the middle mouse button works across both versions, so that's what I recommend you to use. So let's see here. We can use the eyes pretty easily to align the layers, and this, something like this, will do. I click the minus key to zoom out and make sure that this layer is selected, and I increase the opacity. The next step is where we will make use of a layer mask, and the layer mask is a basic kind of building block for image editors. I will add it before I continue to describe it. I right click on the layer I want to add the layer mask to, and I click add layer mask, and I will get a bunch of options how I want the layer mask to be created, and we want to have it with full opacity, so we fill it with white. Let me explain this. A layer mask is a way of telling GIMP what part of a layer you want opaque and what part you want transparent, or what part you want partly transparent. If I take and paint with black color on this image, this layer mask, you can see that it becomes transparent, and you also see that the thumbnail also gets updated. So if I paint here, you can see that this becomes black and this becomes transparent. You can use gray also if you want semi-transparency. Let's undo this though and do what we should do. And what we should do is to remove all these like external pixels. We only want my face, because I will use the hairdo of Einstein because I like it. So we make sure that the paintbrush tool is selected. We click on the layer mask to make sure that that is selected. If I click on this layer and paint, it just paints a black color because I had black color selected. So we undo that and we make sure that the layer mask is selected, and we change the bigger brush in the paint options. In my case, in 2.3, where we have just implemented a scaling functionality, you use the brackets to scale up and down the brush. I scale it up with the right bracket to create a big brush, and then I begin to simply paint over and only keep my actual face, and I can try to make it somewhat soft. This edge is something that we will take care of later. As you probably have guessed now, we are going to do this in black and white, and the reason is that black and white is so much easier to get it to look good. If you have colors, they are just more time consuming maneuvers to make. You basically use colors and levels and curves, brightness, contrast, and try to poke with those settings a lot to make it look good. We will only convert this my colored face to black and white. Now you can see that it's not able, and that's because we have the layer mask selected. Click on this layer to make sure that the actual layer is selected, and I go to colors and desaturate. There are some ways you can do this. We will use luminosity for this, and there you go. The next thing we want to fix is these sharp edges, and the way we will do it is by making the layer mask blurred. The GIMP has several filters which you can use to adjust layers. If I select this on my face here and I go to filters and blur, Gaussian blur, my face will be blurred simply. The greater radius I have, the more blurred it will become. Cancel this, and we are going to blur the layer mask, which will make the edges soft. So we click on the layer mask to make sure it's selected. We go to filter, filters, blur, and Gaussian blur, and we apply something like 70 in blur radius. Click OK and see how it looks, and I think it looks good. It's a rather smooth transition. It doesn't look perfect, but we don't want it to look perfect. These yellow borders, let's get rid of those also because they are annoying. This is the boundaries of the layer. To make the layer as large as the image, we go to layer and layer